Friend might have done this how many times?
Board games, we might be talking about board games at Airecon, but I'm not gonna shout. We might be travelling very far. We are going in Josie's car, and here is Josie, who's driving here, and we have nothing, hopefully, to hear. There were some people saying, pay the NHS, and I wish them lots of success. Board games, it's what we're talking about. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. 10 a.m-ish UK time for Bessie Beats and Board Game Bladder. And it's the day after Airecon has finished, and I guess we'll just talk a wee bit about how Airecon was.
Yep.
And first of all, how yesterday was. Recent highlights, living my event, seeing the sights, recent highlights, playing games and other delights, recent highlights. So, Airecon, which we'll talk about, but yesterday, a bit of help from Eve and Mandy was super lovely. It felt, I mean, it's quiet, but it's compared to UK Games Expo. But it's basically what I expected, to be honest. Sunday and Saturday were pretty much as expected. Friday was dead, but there was a nice buzz. I think we were kept going. And for the most part, I appreciated everyone. I feel like overall there were definitely mistakes, stuff that could have been done better. But I'm treating this as okay, I'll learn for UK Games Expo. We had the last ever 2 p.m. event. We had 12 people turn up for a game about quickly grabbing creatures that are totally different and counting your beetroots and radishes. I think that going from 12, then the 2 tables, then I think we had like 4 semi-finalists and 1 finalist with 2 finalists who were just, okay, all the cards mixed together that have been coloured in 2 decks. They were wonderful. And I love all the passion that people had put into these cards, into colouring them in. And in the past, I've sometimes done a first to win 2 matches, but I think just having it one off, it
worked. It worked well.
Do you think that this is the best way? Do you think that could have been improved at all? I think for me, that's the format.
It worked really well, and then swapping people around, all that kind of thing.
And then we played Heartstrings, which I liked. Josie's looking like Josie's getting sad at it.
Yep.
Is it the ending?
Yep, the ending. So you made all these lovely connections between people, and everybody was really happy and really like, oh, I'm connected to all these lovely people through my love of X, Y, and Z.
And you were literally connected with Will.
Yeah, look at how we're all connected. And then you cut off all of our connections. You severed them.
But I did talk about how our connections...
I don't care, you severed them. Where's you severed them?
Oh, even though you're a bit sad about that, I'm actually kind of secret, well, not so secretly, happy that it sparks a resonance. Do you know what I mean?
It was sad to cut the connections. There needs to be a way to do that more gently. Yeah.
I mean, I'm taking that on board, but I'm also hearing that it was a resonant thing and there was an emotional thing.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice. And it was nice to that, we had mixed ages and mixed genders and everything. It was lovely. There was a lot of, it was really nice because I think the youngest person's probably about 8, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
And then, up to, I don't know what I want to say. Yeah, it was, so it was lovely. It was really nice.
And there were a lot more connections. I mean, I think there always will be with any group because you've chosen to come together. I mean, even at Now Play This, people will be probably bonded by a love of the arts or a love of London, I don't know, because everyone probably lives near there. But it's actually vocalising these things does make a difference, and it reminds you of all the connections that we all have. I think that's kind of the point, that we do have all these things bringing us together, and I love that. brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? I think that tasting things and rating them is brilliant. So after we packed up, and Josie.
Gamification.
No.
Do you not think it is? Just no. It did feel like.
Well, it's turning it into a game. I would agree, but I don't think that everything should be gamified, because I think that there's a danger with gamification to have these games that last forever. With okay, we're going to gamify your work. We're going to gamify this.
No, you can't do
we're going to gamify like Facebook. That's a really dangerous thing with social media, where everything's. And I actually agree with Seatin Wen, who argues that the beauty of a game is that it finishes, and then we go back from this game to our real life, and we learn things, but then we stop. And for me, I think that I've better, since listening to Seatin Wen, understood the value of games ending, and a lot. Okay, if you turn things into a game, that's fine, but gamification, as a lot of people use it, is about this corporate thing that I really hate. Sorry. But yeah, tasting lots of different things.
Yep.
And we had 10 different vegan starters. Are you going to go out?
I am. I'm going to go fill the car up.
Do you want to say anything before?
No, you probably still be blethering by the time I get back in.
Maybe. And so that's a brilliant thing. It was myself and Josie went to Wagamama, had a lovely game of Questable, just for the fun of it, and then we decided we're going to have all the starters and just do it as a buffet, so everyone can join in all the things. And it was lovely. Myself, Josie, Jane, and Kat. And I just want to also say thank you so much to my helpers, my volunteers, Josie, Jane, and Kat, that I mentioned, but also Charlie, Paul, and Hannah, and Kate, and Tom, and I think I mentioned Charlie, and Aksha. Everyone was wonderful, and everyone was appreciated. And there are little bits to remember. One thing I realised that I need to improve on is get better at giving guides of here's how I want things to be demonstrated more exactly. Actually write a guide for each game. Actually make a reminder that when you're wearing something on top, this would not be considered red enough. It needs to be 100% pillar box red. Exceptions will be made if the rest of you is red. You could have small details of other colours, but it has to be pillar box red. You can't be red with black stripes, or red with white stripes, or red with I don't know, it has to be red. And also things like, not avoiding the use of mobile phones, and seeing how much people love to colour in did make me think, get some new creatures for people to make noises with. That's the thing I learnt. But the actual convention, it was lovely. I saw, very briefly, Paula Denning and Matthew Jude. Even more briefly, I saw Brothers Murph, and I got to wave at lots of people, sit with people for a few minutes. It's getting to the point, Airecon, where there's so much going on, you can't expect to see everyone. And that's a little bit sad. It's developed to the point where it no longer feels intimate. And I think it is going to become like a miniature UK Games Expo. And that's okay, it's still got its own flavour. Airecon still has lots of open gaming. It still has more of that than most places. It still has, some people who will be there who might not be at UK Games Expo. It still has, again, I'll be this person and the other. But
still blathering.
Yeah, Mark did say that they might consider capping it, and next year taking a year where they say, you know what, we're just going to disappoint people. We're going to potentially sell out, and that's okay. and we'll try and see if we can, how much of that intimacy we can maintain. And of course, the special guests do add a bit of difference, but I think it's already at the point where if you go to UK Games Expo or you go to this, I'm not going to say it's much of a muchness, but they're a lot more similar than they were 2 years ago, let alone, yeah. And that's okay. Anyway, I don't think I've got anything left to say at this point. So, but I've learnt stuff. I'm going to make sure to remember all my stuff for next time. I will make very bad videos. I'll just live stream them and then pretend that the camera is a person and explain how I would teach the games and get everyone to watch them. I'll share the video of me teaching people how I like stuff to be done. I was talking to Sophie from Footprints in the Sand.
Yep.
Is that what it's called? Footprints in the Sand?
Footprints are forever.
Footprints are forever. About making clothes. It would be quite nice to have a wee gift for people. And I like what Josie said about it can't be based on how many times you've come or anything like that. It's just based on the connections. But do you have anything to add? What's your favourite memory of Airecon?
I played lots of Blood on the Clock Tower. That was really good. Sitting and seeing Mandy and Eve was lovely, and Dave.
Oh my gosh, I never thanked Mandy and Eve. Lots of love to Mandy and Eve, who stepped in for a bit, and both so I could take a longer break, and also right at the end with Pat Down. They were amazing. And also thanks to Dave for listening to me blather about my game for a wee bit and giving me their input.
And the party, the exhibitors party, really enjoyed that.
Oh yes, that was lovely. Thanks Hachette UK for, and Flavian's a lovely person.
Yep, that was really good. What else?
I definitely enjoyed the mead. I think UK Games Expo needs to get in on that.
More mead. I don't know. I was just nice to see everybody reconnect with lots of different people. So it was nice to go and see Jess, and nice to go and see Sophie at the Footprints, and nice to go and various people that we only see at like board game conventions. So like Ruth and what's his face with the beard? His name's
St. John.
Yeah, and to see his names just go out of my head. And see Games people, and just like there's lots of people.
And I told St. John about Secret Project.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. But I'm not going to tell the internet about that.
Well, it will be a secret involved.
No, it is an actual secret project. So, teasing that I've got at least one secret project. So I'm still making games, don't worry. If you thought, Bess hasn't made games for a while, is she okay?
No, she has. Don't you worry.
And I did test a game about auctioning cubes after winning an auction to become the auctioneer. And I think one time I played it with 4, one time I played it with 6. And I think, look, everyone, when I ask people, do you like auction games? And then they give the thumbs up or down. And do you like this game? I mean, I don't know if it's just to please me, but the thumbs up for this game always come up higher than they do like the auction games.
Okay.
And so that's a good sign. So if you like auction games, I hope you will love this. And if you hate auction games, I think you'll hopefully be okay with this. But it does have that same problem as most auction games, where if in the first couple of rounds everyone undervalues things, and then the game doesn't quite work. Right. And one person was locked out because they valued it correctly. They paid X money to become the auctioneer, but then everyone else paid X minus a little bit to win the goods. And so the auctioneer actually lost money when they should have gained. And so that was... But then by the end, everyone would have worked out, actually. And so maybe having a little reminder to tell people, hey, remember, free money is 1 point, 1 cube is 1 point. So if you pay free money, if you pay less than free money per cube, you are gaining in terms of points. And just wee tips to remind the auctioneer to tell everyone, to drive the prices up, because that's the times when I've seen the game go worst, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm feeling good about that. So I'm feeling good about UK Games Expo. I think that there will be at least 2 new things. Probably more, but at least 2 new things. And I'm just, as a last ever Airecon, I enjoyed it. I'm glad that I saw this new venue, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels lots of love, and oh, we're back. We're definitely back. And I'll be checking this time. I invited them, but they said they need to double check. So anyway, oh, it's getting a wee bit twisty.
It is.
See?
No,
Okay, lots of love to everyone. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. Now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for your song. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, bye, everyone.